So this is our first color front HazCam image and our first color image from the surface of Mars. This is not a color-corrected product yet, so we'll be continuing to work. Our team has been working up until 5 o'clock this morning, and we'll continue to be working hours like this over the weekend to get data as quickly and accessible out to the public. So this is an incredible achievement, and there's one other image I want to show. So one of the amazing things about these cameras is they're actually, as I mentioned, they are 20 megapixel color cameras, and we can actually basically take a small subset of that image and receive that. So what this image is of the wheel on the surface of Mars. It's the front right wheel, and we have now actually seen what it looks like right underneath the wheels. We have imagery like this that we will be releasing to the Raw Images website probably later today. Our team is just actively working on processing that data and getting that ready. One of the amazing things is now that we have this image data is we can now hand this over to the robotic and science teams, so that way we can actually begin to really start the mission.
This is an image of the rover Perseverance slung beneath the descent stage, its propulsion backpack, as it is being lowered to the surface of Mars. You can see the dust kicked up by the rover's engines. We're probably about 2 meters or so above the surface of Mars. We're still checking the timing of this image. It's just hot off the presses. You can see the mechanical bridles that hold the rover underneath the descent stage as 3 straight lines heading down to the top deck. And then the curly electrical umbilical that is taking all of the electrical signals from the descent stage down to the computer inside the belly of the rover. In fact, the ones and zeros that represent this image will travel down that umbilical before it is cut and the rover is left safe on the surface of Mars. So there are these
midway through our journey down to the surface is what you're seeing on your screen right now. This image was acquired by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, one of our orbiters that's orbiting around Mars. You can see here in the zoomed in part of the image in the upper right, our spacecraft with a fully inflated parachute and hanging underneath it our protective entry capsule. Like Adam said with the descent stage, or the descent stage downlook image, we're still figuring out the exact timing of when this image was taken as well. So it's even possible that we had already come out of the protective entry capsule and we're coming down on rockets to the surface, but we haven't quite analyzed this enough to figure that out. If you look just below to the little circle that you see on the screen, this was our eventual touchdown point. You can see it's near the delta that we've talked about that's so interesting to the scientists, and we'll get some updates on that coming up here. But just to give you an idea of all of the things that had to go correctly for us to make it to this point, at the point that that image was acquired, we had already undergone entry into the Martian atmosphere right on time, traveling at 5.3 kilometers per second. We already had undergone the searing heat of entry and pulled somewhere around 11 Gs of force as we decelerated quickly while entering the atmosphere. And we had steered our path through the atmosphere of Mars using thrusters and lift from our vehicle so that we could zero in on our eventual target here in Jezero Crater. So speaking of our target in Jezero Crater, I have another image to share with folks, if we could put that up. This was an image captured by our rear hazard avoidance camera. So this is looking backwards from the Perseverance rover's perspective. When I look at this image, first of all, I feel a great sense of relief. And second of all, I see a landing site that looks relatively safe, free of boulders, free of cliffs, free of great slopes. And that's what we spent a lot of time and effort, making sure that we identified those spots on Mars so that we could safely set the rover down in what we considered the best possible